Welcome again to our webinar, Introduction to Twinmotion for Revit. I'm really excited to talk about this amazing tool that will help to leverage your design outcomes. And yeah, let's walk together this journey. And I hope you enjoy, and I hope it's helpful for you to take the next step for your workflow. So before we start with the webinar, just a little bit about us. VinZero fosters innovation through delivering software and hardware solutions, consulting, training, development, and managed service. So we're here to get on board with you, take your hands and walk through and together through this innovation journey that is quite exciting. Today we're going to talk about Twinmotion. This is a little bit about me. It's quite wordy. I just want to emphasize that my passion lies in helping the AC industry to maximize the efficiency and productivity through the implementation of BIM technologies and streamlined workflows. My technical capabilities lies on Revit, Twinmotion, Bluebeam, BIM management, and everything related to that, as Autodesk Construction Cloud and everything about BIM management. I am a Revit and Twinmotion instructor. Yeah, so a little bit about me. This is our agenda for today. We're going to give a little bit of an introduction to Twinmotion, talk about the real-time rendering magic, intuitive user interface, the library. We're going to show that we have a rich material library in Twinmotion, and yeah, it's quite a lot of things that we can do, and it's quite exciting. We're going to talk about advanced lighting and atmosphere, the interactivity and animation as well. And to finish, we're going to talk a little bit about how we can export our design and how we can collaborate as well. By the end, we're going to have some time for the questions, and I'll try to address all the questions. You can always check the questions on the Q&A session. That's on the bottom. You can see the bar, and you have a Q&A session, and I'll try to address everything. If we don't have time for that, don't worry. You can check your question there, and I'll come back to you to answer. So let's get started. And to do that, we'll open my Revit. I'm going to use Revit 2024 and Twinmotion 2023.1.2. There's a new version of Twinmotion that was just released a couple of weeks ago. We're still working on that. We found a little bit, we still need to get a the understanding of everything to be able to show you, but it's not going to take long, and it's pretty much all we're going to talk here. It applies to the new version as well. That's some improvements, and we can talk about this later if you're interested. So as we all know, here it's a Revit model. You can remember that it's the Autodesk sample for the Revit 2023 version. And as we see here, even if I'm using consistent colors graphic, it's still like that's a lot of you can improve this. This is not the ideal scenario that you want to present to our clients. And even if we use the realistic display, it's much better, but it's not like the way we would like to present. So that's where Twinmotion comes to help you to leverage your design options and for presentation, for example, to our clients. So Twinmotion will give us the ability to turn our 3D models into live, living, breathing environments with just a few clicks. You can ask me like, oh, that's a lot of other tools out there. Yes, there's quite a few other tools. Some of them really no for every one of us. But have in mind, now Twinmotion is free for everyone that has a Revit license, the full license, right? Not the LT at the moment. So we can see that it's really powerful, and now it's free for you to use. So why not? Let's see what we can do. And yeah, let's get started. So the first thing, when you install Twinmotion, you're gonna see the icon under the View tab. We're gonna have a Twinmotion button here with a drop-down list, and you have quite a few options here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, it's open in Twinmotion. Straight away, I'm on a 3D view, and I just need to click there. And we started bring our model to the Twinmotion environment. Take a little while, and I'm going to show you that we can select a few options when we are bringing our models to Twinmotion. And the most important thing here that we need to keep in mind is how we're going to collapse our model. We can choose 3 options here. We can keep hierarchy, we can collapse by material, or you can collapse all. So depending on what you're trying to achieve, for this instance, for this demonstration, we're going to collapse by material. So everything that's it's made from the same material will be created in Twinmotion as one element. Okay, so this is quite important to understand depending on what you're trying to achieve. If you want to everything be on their own, you should use keep hierarchy. So everything is one isolated element. Okay, so we're going to keep by material. And the other thing that's quite interesting here, most of them, you're just going to keep the default. That's not big difference. For example, full precision UVs. I didn't find like there's a big change, so it's up to you, but I would just keep as a default. And the other thing, it's a substitution table. That's quite an interesting idea, that if you work frequently with the same materials, you can create this substitution table that every time you bring the same material will substitute for a Twinmotion specific material. Okay, so I'm just going to click OK here. I'm just keep it like this, new project. And we're going to bring, that's our Twinmotion interface. You see that's a direct link. And here we have our model inside the Twinmotion interface. You can see that even if we did nothing yet, like changing materials or things like that, it's already a better looking like model. Of course, there are a few things that we need to work with, but overall, it's better than in Revit itself. And coming back to Revit, I'm just gonna do it like this. I'm gonna zoom to fit. Here, what do we have? Drop-down list. We have these options here. So every time you change your model in Revit, you can have like as an option to manually synchronize. So you change something here, you come here, synchronize, and you send directly to Twinmotion. That's happening on the background. But let's say you want every time you do something different in Revit, you want to straight away change in Twinmotion. So we can do that by selecting the auto sync. So if we, for example, come here and delete this objects, you see that now in Twinmotion, it's not there anymore. Okay, so it's real-time rendering. So everything that you do in Revit, if you select to alt sync, it's gonna transmit at the same time, pretty much the same time, real-time to Twinmotion. So if I go back there, and now I wanna keep that one. Again, we're gonna see a direct link working again, and it's back there. Okay. So that's a real-time rendering magic that we are talking about. So now that we have our model here, and of course, if you say, nah, I have my Revit model, I don't want it synchronized unless I say so, you can always come back here and click on the auto sync comments. Okay, so here, if we look at our interface, it's a very easy, user-friendly interface for you to work with. So we have like this, the bottom here, we can see the library. So we can find all the materials and objects that we would like to change or include, add to our models. We have, for example, stats here that will tell you if you are using too much of your machine or not. It's a good thing to see if you're working well with your design. On top, we have the navigation bar. So everything related to navigation here, I'm into a moving tool, but we can change to rotate, we can change to scale, and a few other options here. It's very intuitive. It's not like you need like a lot of time to understand how it works. And on the bottom, we have options for materials, populate. We're going to see that import projects as well, and the media when we're going to create our images, our videos, when we finish our rendering here. On the right side, we have our scene information. So everything that we have here, it's here. So if, for example, the scene graph is pretty much everything there. If I turn it off, I can't see anything. Okay, so, and you can create folders here to kind of organize your, exactly as a project browser in Revit, you can start creating here. So if I click here, I can create a subcontainer and say, for example, this is going to be my materials or my house, my roof, and you can start creating this and organize in a way that it's going to be easier for you to find what you're looking for. For now, it's kind of everything that I bring in, it's there, but it's not organized as we could do it. Okay, and here on the bottom, when we select materials, we're going to have the properties that we can work with from that material. For example, here, one thing that I think it's quite nice, let me just select a chair, for example. I'm going to find a chair. Let's say I want to use this one. I'm going to bring here and I'm going to place here. Okay, so now I have a chair on my scene. Let's say I want to move the chair. I'm going to use my gizmo here and I'm going to move. I can rotate. And one thing that's quite interesting, because when you place for the first time your object, it kind of snaps to the surface. But when you move it, you're going to see here, it goes through your floor, for example. So one strategy that you can use is the collision, move with collision. So if you click that, you're going to see that even if you keep moving down, the element will stop on your surface. And if you want to give like a movement and kind of effect for you to create a video or a presentation, you can use gravity as well. And you see it even kind of bounce. Sometimes it goes to the side. So it creates like an animation for you to work with your model. I'm going to delete this one. I don't need for now. And one of the things about Twinmotion, as you see here, it's a lot of chairs for you to use. It's the vast library. So you have like a really rich library to use. And Magscan and Sketchfab has been acquired by Epic Games. And now we have access to them. So Magscan, just for you to understand, it's kind of the real objects. They make like they scan from the object and they bring here to Twinmotion. So it's really like a game changer for you for visualization. For example, if I select here plants, let's say I'm going to select here falling tree, for example. You can see here that I'm signed now. For you to use Magscan and Sketchfab, you need to have an Epic account. It's free for you to use. You just need to create the account, and then you're going to sign in during your use of the Twinmotion. And here, for example, I just gonna download. It's quite I want to do this one. It's more drastic to show. You're gonna download here, and then you are able to use it's creating the image, and you're gonna see the details here. They are quite real, like they really look like the real worlds. You see a lot of details and things like that. So it leverages your design, your rendering style. Okay, I'm going to delete that. And one thing that's interesting as well, if you always use the same materials, you can select this heart here on top, and you're going to create a library favorites. So it's here. So for example, now I don't have any favorite here, but let's say I'm going to favorite this one here. So I just click on the there. When I go back there, so I have all the list of materials that I'm using that I want to use every time, and it's going to be easier for me to find them. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this one here. And here we can start, for example, if you get closer to the roof, for example, you see it's just a red canvas. That's no details here. So let's start changing our materials to see what happens. So I know that's a metal roof here. I have a few options. If I just click the search bar, what I want to find, even if it's with 3 O's instead of 2, we can start like doing this kind of thing. I'm going to select, let's select this here, for example. Yeah. So you see that now it's different. And the thing is, you can change the way it looks like. So as soon as you place the material, you now have the properties of that material, and you can start changing. For example, oh, I want it to be red as the original one. Okay, so I'm just changing the color. I can add some grunge here, which is kind of that 30 aspects for the material. And you can change the scale as well. Sometimes you're gonna find that some of the materials, when you place it for the first time, they are not specifically the way it should look. Let me see if I can change another one here. This one looks good. So if I go here, I might say like, oh, that's too small. So I'm gonna create like this. And it started looking like more like the real thing, and even give a grunge there. You can change it, the roughness, and it's going to change the way it reflects the light, for example. You can change here. You can select to be more metallic or less metallic. And you have a few other options here. You can select if it's going to respond to the weather change or not. Let's say I don't want to respond this one to the weather. If I go to my ambient here and I say I want to snow, so everything is covered by snow except my roof that I selected to not be impacted by the weather. And you can do this with everything. We can select a wall here. Planning. I'm going to use this one. Again, always try to check the scale, what you want to like. For example, if you want to do this or you want to do it like this. So you have total control over the way it will look like. Okay, so, and you can see here the details are quite stunning. Like it's really like a real wood material. Again, you can put a grunge or not. And when I talked before how we're going to collapse the material, that's where it's going to be important for you to understand. For example, this kind of wall here, if it's everywhere and I collapse by material, let's say everywhere here, it would be the same material. When you change one, you're going to change everywhere. Okay, if you keep the hierarchy, you're going to select individual elements. And you can change here, for example, and not change here, change for another material, and so on. And I just want to show how material, how rich is. You can see here so many materials that you can use for every single thing. You see that it's quite a lot. Marble, granite. Yeah, you have grass, and yeah, you have quite rich library that you can use to change. So you can see that we are kind of okay, that where we want this design, and you can start creating the real life like appearance for our presentations, for example. And I'm here just changing the materials from the model, but I can start like now creating the environment that is placed on. So let's say I'm going to create like a landscape or the place area, a really nice place. I'm going to say like, development, an area. It's going to be a kind of mountain area, or thing like that. So we can start playing around that. So I'm going to use the rock grasslands for my landscape, and I just need to drag and drop. And we do that. It's going to take a little while to prepare the terrain, and that's it. Now we have the landscape. And if you see here, I have my starting ground, and I can move down my starting ground just to give the landscape totally in control now. So you see that's something different. it's starting to look more like pleasant and for us to present. And you can at any time select to keep it visible or not. If you find like something that this is not what I want to do, you can start like change. For example, I have my starting landscape here that I don't want to because it's not as good as the one that I select. You see that it's here, but it's not making difference. So I just gonna delete that. And let's say we see the house is floating here. So I come here to my house, get in there, select my gizmo and move here. So now we have our house placed in our landscape, which is pretty cool. It's looking good. It's not perfect yet. So what you can do else? What else we can do? So if we select our landscape, for example, we have a few options here to sculpt or paint the landscape. For this kind of thing here now, I'm going to start painting. And when you select paint, you have a few options here. So I'm going to select gravel, and I'm going to start creating like my roads, my kind of access to my cars, and in that. And if you look, it's a painter, but if you look, it looks like pretty here. And again, you can always select there the gravel and change the texture of your gravels. Okay, and you can start. So now I have my space here. I have my road, my access road, and I can place a car, for example. I have a car here. It's there. You can select it, rotate, change the color. I want to have a red car, and that's it. It looks pretty cool. Okay. What we can do here as well, I want to maybe create a kind of a lake or a pond. So again, I select my landscape and I'm going to sculpt now, and I'm going to dig. And I can select the diameter that I'm going to dig, and I can start like just pressing the here. If we adjust, we need to find the ground floor, the starting grounds. So I just want to create like this here. I just it's hidden there. Yeah. So here, so now I have my ground floor, my starting ground here. And what I can do is I'm gonna select water. And we're gonna have a few options to work with. For example, I have a river here, and I'm just gonna put in there, and now we have the pond, and you can see the properties of the water. So you can say like, I want to have waves. I don't have like too intense. The water depth, details here, so you can change the turbidity, and if it's gonna respond to the weather, if you change details here, the wave size, I want to, because it's a pound, not a lot, if it's gonna react to wind, and that's it. Again, to make it look better here, I'm gonna dig it out here. Start creating like lace here to be more. Yeah, something like that. You can create some elevations as well. If you keep clicking, you kind of create the box, and so it's looking different. Other thing that we can do, because if you look here, the grass, it's okay, but if you want like a real visualization of a real grass, and you can start painting and creating, populating with the grass, for example, is going to be like a real grass. So what we need to, I'm just putting this on the top. Just a second. Yeah. So we go here to populate, and I'm going to say foliage. I'm going to paint. And what I need to do is select the type of grass that I want to use. So I'm just going to type grass there. And it's just thinking about, I'm going to use the long grass. So I just drag and drop here. And now I'm ready to start planting. One thing that it's good, always good for you to do is try to create your scene before you bring in your model. You can do that, and I'm going to show you how we can do that by the end. But for example, here, for this part of what I want to do is select my house here, and I'm going to just do that like that. Yeah. And now I'm going to do my painting. So I'm using this one, and I can just change the diameter here, and I starting populating here. I can change the density of the grass. So I'm going to put 100% here. I want it to be really, really dense. The size, I can change the details here, stripe angle, stripes. Yeah, and go back to painting and just do something like this. So you just need to be careful, because everywhere you touch is going to create the grass. Okay, I'm here probably crossing the boundaries, but that's okay, just for us to understand how it works. And I go back there, bring back my house. And now, if you go from the top, you won't see that much of the difference. But if we start like creating scenes and cameras and how you can do, it's now, for example, I want to this view here. It looks like really cool. You see the winds moving the grass, and of course you can change here to the grass not to move if you want. But yeah, so you can start creating your scenes and producing the images that you want to show to your clients. So that's how we starting doing everything, but you still see that like it's not yet the way that I want to. So what I'm gonna do is to create like low sun. Vegetation needs to be for everyone, everything. Sun. So I have this, for example, that I really like, this one, the low sun overcast. If I drag and drop, it's creating the scene. And now you can see like it's really drastic, the change. Again, if you go there and you change the view here, you can see the sun there. And every time you change this, you can select here our HDRI environments, and you change the intensity of the sun, how it's going to play here around, and you can rotate as well to say, I want the sun to be there. So I can create like kind of view here with the grass. And you see the reflections kind of depending on the way that you selected the material, how it's going to reflect the metalness of it is going to make a difference here. But yes, it's looking better now, but we still have a little bit more to do. And what I'm going to show now, I'm going to play a video because this takes a while to do. And I want to show in a like edit video just what we need to see here in a quickly way, so we do not like waste time just waiting for everything to so I'm just going to play a video how we work with what we call path tracer. That is going to be a real game changer when everything is going to look like much better than it's already looking right now. So let's play this video here. This one. So when you have a scene, for example, this scene is from our model. We're going to select the path tracer there. And I'm going to show how we're going to create the images. But when you create that, they're going to kind of create a really cool rendering. And we can control, again, like the way we're going to do the intensity of the lights, how we're going to rotate. The fact is, as I said, this is a really cool, but this is a powerful tool that sometimes it takes time if you want a high quality image. So that's why I'm showing here the video, and you see that it's going to change. If you change the intensity, everything is looking different, and it's more like a real stuff. And you can again rotate how the sun is going to be, the sunshine. And now I'm going to show you how we're going to have like a few I have a few images from this, and I can show you how we can look and how we can prepare our outputs to present to the clients. So here, just to finish, I'm rotating the way that the light is coming to the room. And if we compare this one with just the rendering that we are doing previously, it's going to be a complete drastic difference. So I'm going to show the images. So here we can see, we can start like preparing our images to demonstrate to the client. You see that it's pretty cool and amazing. And this is all with the path tracer. Okay. And we see different stuff. We can start animating inside the building. And what I really like to show you here, the sun reflection on the glass. You can see people here is reflecting as well. You can see the inside because in here, we can start seeing the difference. So this is the way we just change materials and we change the light. We change the HDRI environment, but that's it. When you start doing the path tracer, you're going to have this feature here. So it's the same view with a different rendering. It's not a standard rendering that Twinmotion has, it's the path tracer one. And we can go even further. So here I prepare everything, the light, I created some artificial lights here as well. And that's looks real. You can see even the plates now, they are real plates from Twinmotion. It's not like just because if you look here, it's just kind of a painting on top of the table. Here I change everything, the glass and the chairs, and it looks like real. You see the difference. It's the same scene in a different ways. Another one, just to finish. Again, the sun is there. This one. Oh, yeah. Back there. And here we can start animating. I select all the RPGs from Revit, people from Revit, I delete, and I can, from here, say I use my characters, and just starting putting there, shell, maybe. And we can select groups, for example, groups of people talking, kids, groups. Yeah, a few more here. Kids, maybe kids playing around. So now we have like kind of a really cool thing to show to our clients who can make videos from there. And the way we do that is using the media here. So if I click here, I can choose from images, videos, panorama, and presentation as well. We can create a presentation and export to our clients. They don't need to use the Twinmotion app itself. So for example, images here, I can create here. That's my first image. I refresh. That's the one that I want to use. And I can create another one. The other one I want to see from here. I refresh. And you can create as much as you want. And the video is the same. So you're going to create, and it's a very cool thing because Twinmotion understands the path that you're taking, and it creates like this continuity that, let's say I want this one, and I'm going to create another one, part of this, that's we going this way here. Let's see here. I'm gonna go this way. It's another one. Refresh this one. And maybe another one just here. Yeah, I put it on the inverse side, but you're gonna see that it's kind of creating this visual and go backs. Okay, so that's really easy for you to do that. And you can create quite a cool presentation to show your clients. And also you can create paths. So I want someone walking from here to here. And depending on the density here, oops, I just put it up. Again, from here to here. And you can choose the density here. I want like a lot of people. It works well for if you have an urban design. You can use this path to elaborate. And that's where it comes this video here that I started showing you guys. So that's how we do. You create like the path on the side, the sidewalk, and we are going through our camera, and you see that everything is moving around. You have people coming and back and forth, and you kind of go through your entire design option. So that's pretty cool. This is not from me. This is from Jonathan Reeves. He has a lot of content. It's a public content. So just for you to know, so acknowledging that. And it works for cars as well. Let's say you have a road somewhere. I'm gonna delete this one here. You can create a path for your car. It goes from here to here. and you start moving around. Okay, of course here, because it's a trajectory that it's just, you know, so it's gonna keep going. But if you have a urban landscape, you can do that and just put like the path further and further, and the car just goes. And then depending on the density that you choose, you're going to have 1 or 2 or 3 cars, depending on the way. You can select to reverse, the other way around, two-way direction. So you have like this. Of course, the density here, it's probably too much. So you can play around and produce your design. And as soon as you have your media created, your images, your videos, we're gonna use the export button here, and then we're gonna choose what we want to export. For example, my image, I'm gonna select here, just put in here the format that I want to use. If I want a motion blur, if I want a refinement of the area, I usually use off here. If you want a like max lighting, have in mind that all these options, they will create a larger file, and you have like, it's going to take a little bit more time to do that. And then you're just going to export. They will prompt you to the place that you want to save that file, that image. And yeah, and that's basically that. It's like any other. So you're going to select the folder and you're going to save, and you can send to your clients. And that's how you're going to create your design, your outputs to present to your clients, for example, or whatever you want to do. Touching in collaboration, we cannot have 2 people working on the same file at the same time, but we always can create, like, for example, for example, someone creating some, like the site, for example, the landscape, if someone creates just the model, and then we can bring together, merging the files, and they're going to merge like the landscape that you're using and the model that you're using, and you're going to merge in another file that you're going to have everything. So you can collaborate that, not at the same time working in the same file, but you can always bring and merge, and it's going to be fine. The other thing that I want to show, just to finish, it's the populate here. If I want a foliage as well, let's say I'm going to tree. I'm gonna populate here, foliage. I'm gonna bring this one. I'm gonna bring this one, and I'm gonna bring this one here. I'm starting painting my diameter, and as soon as I start like creating this, the trees for my. So it changed completely the visual, right? So remember, as I said, if you put if you put on top, it's gonna be on top of your house. It won't say, oh, it's not a place to do, but that's how we're gonna do it. Gonna do it again, just to not put it on top of the house. That's why I said it's always better for you to not create the site, the landscape, and then bring the model. Otherwise, you can always kind of put on top of your model, and it's not going to look like pretty cool. So now I have this visual here, and you can start creating your images. Of course, Twinmotion allows you to use virtual reality as well. If you have the tools to do that, yes, you can do it. You create here, and you can use virtual reality. And something that I did not show here, but I can show. If we press M here, for example, it kind of you are within the pedestrian modes. So if I just walk here, it's just like someone, and you cannot even hear the footsteps on the grass, and you just go there. If I press M again, I'm on drone mode and I can go up and down. If I am, I just can go straight forward, back, and side by side. No, I can't fly anymore. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show. That's a lot more. Of course, this is just to bring awareness and get like the curiosity. It's that's a lot more we can explore, but believe me, you can change. It's a game changer for you for your presentation to your clients, and to yeah, that's a real game changer. If you Before we start our questions time, if you have already like, oh, this is what we need to do, we have an upcoming course, Twinmotion for Revit. So grab your camera, scan the QR code, and you can enroll the course. If you want to have more information about that, it's good as well. So if you are clear about that, that's what I want to do. I want to learn this in the best way possible, and create more efficiency and productivity. You can do that. If you're not sure yet, I'm happy to offer a 30-minute consultation with technical specialists. And again, QR code, take your camera, put in there. You're just going to fill a form, and we can have a call and talk more about this, how you can improve, how can you incorporate to your workflows, and yeah, change the way that you're dealing with. Okay, I see that a few questions here, so I'm gonna try to open. Okay, so is there any difference in Twinmotion Revit with the free version Twinmotion? Basically, they are the same. The only thing is for the Twinmotion for free, not with Revit, you always going to have like, it's going to be a free trial, a limited free trial, but you will always have like not for commercial on top of your images. So it's kind of yeah, you can use for you to kind of create and play around, but it's not, if you want to present to your clients, it's probably not the best way to do it. That's the main difference. Can you bring your Revit PBR material into the software? As I said, you have like the list, the substitution list, that you can bring any material there, and you can, but the material from Revit sometimes it won't be like perfect as the Twinmotion material. Okay, so you can play around the scale, texture, but not always will be perfect for you to. It won't be always like as beautiful as the Twinmotion material. So are the objects added into Twinmotion, then transferred to Revit model? No, it's just one-way road. So everything that you change in Revit, you can change. It's if you synchronize, it's going to change into Twinmotion, but not the other way around. Everything that you change into Twinmotion, it stays in Twinmotion. There's a question about ArchiCAD, if it's free as well. I'm not sure about that. This is specifically for Revit for Twinmotion. That's free. I don't think there's a free tool for ArchiCAD, but I'm not 100% sure. But Twinmotion for ArchiCAD works pretty much the same. I'm just not sure if it's free with ArchiCAD. I can't say that. I'm just going to show you here about materials. So I'm just going to close this one here. So here on the bottom, we have our materials tab. So everything that has been placed here, it's here on this tab. Okay, so everything is here. If you see something like this, one check mark, it's because it was used once. If you have two, it was used twice. If you have none, it's because it's not there anymore. So you can always select everything like this, go to the bottom, shift, select, and click down. It will delete everything that's not used. And that's a very interesting question, because when you are collaborating and you want to share your file with someone else that's going to work, you can you can send the file, but you need to send the library, the materials that you're using as well, and you use that with the resource collector, and it will say here, I want you to collect the Twinmotion file itself. If I want substitution table as well, you need unused materials, and if you want to compress file, and it's going to bring everything to a specific folder that someone else can get in there and start working as well. Well, if you can import topography, yes, I kind of cleaned up a little bit to make easier for us in a 40 minutes call to show how it works, everything. But if you want to bring the site as well, you can. So it comes. Here, let me see if I can show here. If you can select more regions than more objects than one, more elements, yes, you can just come here to the scene and just click Control and then select whatever you want to select. You're going to see that you're going to select more, any number of objects, elements. Okay, so you can select more than one. You can't, it's not like Revit, you can't select just creating, moving your mouse. No, you can click here and start clicking, but it's easy for you to use the scene to choose that. If there is any chance or a way to import more materials from elsewhere, I don't think you can, but I'll come back to you on that, because yeah, I don't think you can. Okay. It's probably no, but I don't want to give you 100%. So I'll come back to that. Uh, there's no more questions. So again, get in touch. If you want to have like the 30 minutes talk or chat, we're happy to do that. And yeah, we can discuss how we can leverage your workflow. Of course, this workflow that I chose here, it's for the presentation. You see, we can create a really cool workflow for you to work depending on what you're trying to achieve. And of course, my design choices were kind of just to show the bold things. And so, yeah, but you have quite a lot of options regarding material and stuff like that. Thank you very much, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed. And if you have further questions, if you have like more doubts about this, get in touch with us.